Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Ken Rogers. On this week's program, Sara Place, the Director of Sustainability for Elanco, joins us, and Greg Anderson, who serves on the National Biodiesel Board. We'll talk with them about what's going on with their programs. Also, we'll have updates from Kansas Corn, Kansas Wheat, and the Kansas Farm Bureau, and the weekly update for the Kansas Livestock Association, and market information from Pinion, a division of K-Coe Isom.
Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Kansas Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farm and ranch families since 1919, kfb.org. And the Kansas Wheat Commission, lending in the adoption of profitable innovations from wheat, online at kswheat.com.
In the latest crop condition report, topsoil moisture supplies rated 45% very short, 34% short, 20% adequate, and just 1% surplus. That according to USDA's National Ag Statistics Service. Subsoil moisture supplies rated 39% very short, 38% short, 23% adequate, and none surplus. Winter wheat condition rated 10% very poor, 25% poor, 39% fair, 25% good, and 1% excellent. Those weekly reports will begin the coming week for the 2022 crop season. And Kansas' number of farms and ranches increased during 2021, that according also to the National Ag Statistics Service. The number of farms and ranches in the state, 58,600, up 300 farms from 2020. The number of farm and ranches in Kansas with less than $100,000 in ag sales increased 300 farms from a year earlier. Operations with agriculture sales of $100,000 or more unchanged. Land in farms and ranches in Kansas total 45.7 million acres. That was also unchanged from 2020. And the average size of operation, 780 acres, down 4 acres from a year earlier. And it looks like former Ag Secretary Sonny Perdue is now the sole finalist in the search for the next chancellor of the University System of Georgia. That decision follows a national search over the last year that led the university system to pick him. They have 26 public colleges. Universities have over 340,000 students, employ more than 48,000 faculty and staff to fulfill that system's teaching, research, and service mission around the state. Find more ag news at agview.net. More in a moment.
The Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by Kansas Grain Sorghum, growers working together. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
We're joined now by Sara Place, who is the Chief Sustainability Officer with Elanco Animal Health. And Sara, you were here with the KLA members to, I guess, continue that discussion of what sustainability is in the beef industry, the way maybe Elanco sees it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I think we see it just as producers see it, which is the reality that it's all about producing nutritious food and doing so with economic viability, first and foremost, environmental stewardship, and social responsibility.
So how, when you do that, how is that received by the cattle and the beef industry?
I think the reality is a lot of folks have heard this word over and over again. I'm sure some people are sick of it, right, and probably don't want to hear about it again. But I also think the reality is people see, for example, the movement in alternative proteins and alternative meats, and recognize that where a lot of that interest or that investment in those products is coming from is, quite frankly, it's from a sustainability angle, right? So that perception that beef isn't sustainable has actually driven millions of dollars of investment into meat alternatives. So I think that's one of those things to to key up for folks is, even if you are kind of sick of that word, that's why we need to tackle that issue, because of that perception gap, right? And the potential for that to have long-term implications on beef demand, right? Even if it doesn't show up super strong right now. And the potential that has to impact things like investment, right? And maybe strings being attached to access to capital, just because of all this perception that beef is not environmentally sustainable.
So what can happen on the ranch?
So I think the reality is that a lot of great work has already been done, and some of, when we talk about sustainability, is just communicating that aspect in ways that are relevant to all these different stakeholder groups, right? Whether it's consumers or investors or whoever it may be. So maintaining the good that we're doing is probably the biggest part of this entire conversation. There are things that we can do different, though, and there are always places where we can improve, and I think that's one of those key things to try to convey as well, is a lot of sustainability and improving environmental outcomes, it's co-benefits with the economic outcomes, right? If we think about cow-calf production, always we can say, hey, the most costly thing from both an economic and an environmental perspective tends to be an open cow, right? And just thinking about reproductive efficiency and cow efficiency and all those aspects, fitting your animals to the environment, that can make a huge impact on greenhouse gas emissions per unit of beef as well. Right.
So moving forward, are there win-wins for in a sense, both sides?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of those win-wins, things that we know we can do, that we can increase adoption of in the industry and keep moving forward. At the same time, with some of the ambition of goals that have been set out there of achieving things like climate neutrality, that will take new innovations. And I think the key thing for the industry is just, if it's a new innovation that has a monetary cost, we need to make sure that producers are adequately compensated for that, period, right? That it's not just something that's added cost onto production. And I think that's something that we'll see over the next 5 to 10 years as new innovations come out. Things like feed additives that can reduce methane emissions from cattle, right? In some cases, there's probably going to be co-benefits, because methane is a loss of feed energy. If we can reduce methane, we'll probably improve feed efficiency. But if those new products cost more than the gains in efficiency, that's where we need to make sure that we're doing a good job of returning the benefits.
Very good. Sara Place, the Chief Sustainability Officer with Elanco Animal Health, has joined us. Stay with us. We'll have more in just a moment.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and Liberty Link that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by the Kansas Livestock Association, supporting members' business interests and meeting consumer demands. KLA.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. And Kansas Corn, building the future at kansascorn.com.
And we're joined now by Greg Anderson. He's a Nebraska farmer and also on the National Biodiesel Board. Greg, it seems like every year about this time we get to run into you with a bunch of farm broadcasters when we get the update. And so one thing that 2021 will be known as is the challenge of the supply chain, and that is really impacting biodiesel, and that type of product to be able to get it out.
Yeah, well, 2021, we're seeing demand for our product unprecedented. I haven't seen demand this robust ever before, and it's driven by a lot of things, but I think probably number one list on that is the carbon reduction, and that's kind of the mantra right now. And of course, as you well know, biodiesel, renewable diesel, has always had a great story to tell in reducing carbon, reducing particulate matter that's coming out of those diesel engines, and being a clean fuel. It's really nice because it's seamless. It's a drop-in fuel. You don't have to have a lot of engine modifications. In fact, hardly any modifications at all to use biodiesel successfully. You just drop it in and go. And I think that's really why the city fleets have latched onto this so quickly, and now we're seeing with more emphasis placed on let's clean up our air. California has gone for the last few years. I think by 2014 they're using like 14 million gallons of biodiesel. Now they're using over 1 billion gallons, and so the issue is, okay, we need to get more biodiesel flowing out west to serve that growing market. And then you have the Northeast, where now more states are latching on to higher blend levels of bioheat, mixing biodiesel with home heating oil to reduce carbon score there. And about 400 million gallons this year to the Northeast, and that's just growing in a drastic way. And so there are some tug of war type things and moving things around, the supply chain and all that. And of course, we know even in our own personal experiences of things maybe arriving late or whatever, but suppliers are very savvy and they have those issues worked out. And so people that want the product are getting it.
Let's talk about this next generation of biofuels. Utilizing soybeans, I think there's a lot of excitement going. This will hit a lot of those things you just touched on and really amplify them.
Right. Well, I'm excited about Maersk, who's the largest shipping company in the world, and it's a global company. It ships internationally, and lots of times when you see a ship in a port, you'll see the Maersk name on it. They're committed to reducing carbon throughout their company by 50% in just the next 10 years. And the number one pathway to get there is using biodiesel. And so they're really sold on that. They see that's the answer to their carbon reduction program. And their only really question is, can we get enough biodiesel to do that? So that's a good issue. The other thing is railroads, which before had been closed to the use of biodiesel. It's a lower grade fuel that they want to run, and it's very dirty. And you see a train go, and when they toot their horn, a lot of black smoke belches out. Well, now corporations are saying, if we're going to use your rail line, your carbon reduction needs to match our company's, because this is all the way through. And so they've seen now that using B20 and above will help clean up that air and satisfy their customers' needs. So it's a great story, and we're seeing the U.S. crushing industry expand, which is a signal that more soybean oil is going to stay here to serve these growing markets.
All right. Greg Anderson is with the National Biodiesel Board. He's joined us. Stay with us. We'll have more in just a moment.
What if sustainability were synonymous with U.S. soy? If energy efficiency, water quality, and soil health help define U.S. soy's value, that future is here, the time is now. To meet end-user demands, the Soybean Checkoff is committing to sustainability that's achievable, worthwhile, and enduring. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
I'm Chad Epler. I am the Kansas Corn Growers Association Secretary. I grew up on a family farm in southeast Kansas, and so production agriculture has been very key to my growth and my success. I went to college at K-State and decided I want to be an ag teacher, and I spent 15 years as an ag teacher and FFA advisor, and that really was my passion for so many years. And being involved in the Ag Teacher Association, we had winter conferences, and I was approached by Sharon Thielen of Kansas Corn about, hey, there might be an opportunity for you to be a part of the Kansas Corn Growers Association as a board member. Jumped in with 2 feet. So even though that the commissioners are the ones that really divvy out the dollars for the education programs, such as Seed to STEM, I love the education reports. I love to hear how many teachers we are reaching across Kansas, how many students we are reaching across Kansas. Now in the Wichita Public Schools, a 5th grader going through that school district will have a lesson about how corn is made and how it's grown. And I think that's really cool. It needs to happen in more grades. But that education piece will always be true to my heart. Even though I'm back on the farm, out in the field, I will always, be in the classroom and be a teacher at heart. So these are things that Kansas Corn is really focused a lot of time on, the education of young people. And so not only elementary, but collegiate, there's collegiate scholarships, collegiate programs, academies. Kansas Corn does a ton with education, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
The 2022 Herb Clutter Memorial Scholarship applications are now open. The scholarship fund will award one $1,000 scholarship to a college or university-bound incoming freshman from Kansas pursuing a career in agriculture. To be eligible for the scholarship, applicants must plan to be a full-time student at any 2- or 4-year Kansas college or university. Recipients will be selected based on academic achievement, leadership qualities, and career objectives focused on agriculture. The recipient will receive the scholarship to be applied towards tuition for the student's college or university education. The Herb Clutter Memorial Scholarship was established through a fund in memory of Herbert W. Clutter, a farmer from Holcomb and the first president of the National Association of Wheat Growers. Clutter encouraged Kansas wheat farmers to organize as a strong, unified voice, which led to the formation of the Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. He encouraged research and education and industrial uses of wheat, improved variety development, and methods to produce the best product at the lowest cost. Clutter's efforts led to the formation of the Kansas Wheat Commission by the Kansas legislature. Applicants of the Herb Clutter Memorial Scholarship must complete the scholarship application, which includes a 400 to 500 word essay discussing why they've chosen to pursue a career in agriculture. The scholarship application must be submitted to the Kansas Association of Wheat Growers at 1990 Kimball Avenue, Manhattan, Kansas 66502 by March 18th. Information about the Herb Clutter Memorial Scholarship is available at kswheat.com.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and LibertyLink that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Brent Mccullough operates a 2,000-acre grain farm in Jewell and Republic counties. The farm and limestone house he lives in was purchased in 1936 by his grandfather during the drought and depression. Today, he raises sorghum, corn, and soybeans on mostly non-irrigated, no-till farm ground and uses variable rate technology and precision agriculture to place seed, fertilizer, and crop protection products where they can be used most efficiently and effectively. He's been active on the Jewell County Farm Bureau Board for 13 years, serving in a variety of roles, and has served on Kansas Farm Bureau's resolutions and emerging issues committees. He's also represented Kansas nationally by serving on American Farm Bureau Federation's Feed Grains Issue Advisory Committee. Brent says Farm Bureau's role working with legislators, regulators, and other groups representing farmers' interests will continue to be one of its most important.
Are you looking for Medicare supplement insurance plans? Now is a good time to look at your options with Kansas Farm Bureau Health Plans. A Medicare supplement insurance plan can help cover certain out-of-pocket expenses Medicare doesn't cover. Things like deductibles, co-insurance, and certain limitations that can be costly in the event of an accident or illness. With Kansas Farm Bureau Health Plans, you have options to Medicare supplement insurance plans with 4 levels of affordable coverage and service from an organization known for its commitment serving Kansans. We encourage you to compare our rates. For more information and to get a quote, contact a Farm Bureau Financial Services agent near you or visit kfbhealthplans.com. Medicare supplements insured by Members Health Insurance Company, Columbia, Tennessee. Not connected with or endorsed by the U.S. or state government.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and Liberty Link that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
NCBA submitted a letter to the Environmental Protection Agency on behalf of cattle producers from 44 states, including Kansas, calling for a definition of waters of the U.S. that works for the cattle industry. The letter is in response to a rule proposed by the Biden administration to repeal the Navigable Waters Protection Rule and implement new regulations on water features, including those commonly found on farms and ranches. It asked EPA Administrator Michael Regan to support a limited, clear definition of WOTUS that maintains agricultural exclusions and respects existing Supreme Court precedent limiting federal jurisdiction over small bodies of water. Despite the Biden administration representing this approach as a simple repeal, the draft rule is a significant change from both the Obama-era 2015 WOTUS rule and the Trump-era Navigable Waters Protection Rule, both of which maintained these exclusions that sought to protect the farmers and ranchers who manage stock ponds and certain ditches without disruptions from EPA and the Army Corps of Engineers. The Biden proposal also removes exclusions for water features that only flow during rain or other snowmelt. This creates even more confusion for producers who may find puddles and creeks on their property that qualify as a WOTUS during a rainstorm, but normally are dry land. NCBA's grassroots letter is the culmination of a 4-month-long campaign to urge EPA and the Biden administration to finally end the constant regulatory changes that created years of uncertainty for cattle producers. In addition to the letter signed by cattle producers, NCBA and its affiliates, including the Kansas Livestock Association, will submit technical comments to EPA for consideration under the rulemaking docket.
What if sustainability were synonymous with U.S. soy? If energy efficiency, water quality, and soil health help define U.S. soy's value, that future is here, the time is now. To meet end-user demands, the Soybean Checkoff is committing to sustainability that's achievable, worthwhile, and enduring. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Premier Farm and Home has what you need to make your lawn the best in the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Ken. We choose Premier Farm and Home for the professional look that we do ourselves.
Feel free to stop in. You can also visit our website at heycow.com.
Mitch Dewar here with Pinion, a division of K-Coe Isom. Volatility has been a word that has been used to describe markets for years, but a word that here recently has been used in what seems about every other sentence when describing the markets, let alone the price of commodities. Volatility is used to describe the price fluctuations of a market. Here recently we have experienced times of great volatility that has your most experienced analysts and traders scratching their head. As a commodity producer, the overall outcome and price of your production is directly tied to these futures markets and how they move. Currently, the daily price limit on corn is 35 cents, 90 cents on beans, and for both Kansas City and Chicago wheat, it's 50 cents. So what's this mean to you? It means that the overall value of your yearly production can move up or down around 5% in any single day. Most are aware of this, but not always thinking about it. Trying to completely take the emotion out when marketing your grain is almost impossible, when those decisions will determine how profitable your operation will be this year. There are many different tools and ways to manage these volatile markets. If you would like to explore the different ways to help your operation manage its risk, give us a call here at 888-452-8751. I'm Mitch Dewar with Pinion, a division of K-Coe Isom.
That's our show this week. Be social with us at KansasAgReport.net or our social media channels. I'm Ken Rogers. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
What if sustainability were synonymous with U.S. soy? If energy efficiency, water quality, and soil health help define U.S. soy's value, that future is here, the time is now. To meet end-user demands, the Soybean Checkoff is committing to sustainability that's achievable, worthwhile, and enduring. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.